It's a way of controlling. When you control language, and that language is transferred to a person's mind, and you can make that language, meaning words in that language, have power, and you are the person who is initiating the language, then that means you absolutely control the person. I mean, it's like controlling a drone or controlling a monster, which is what they make black people of. They make us into monsters and monstrosities, and so just by language, certain things they can say, and they can either do it to make white supremacists take great pride in being able, through words, just saying what they say. They can almost run little contests among themselves. Say, now watch this. When this black person walks in here, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this. And watch how they react, because they're going to react exactly the way that I want them to react. But they are not going to know that they're reacting the way that I want them to react. And so they do this not only with the N-word, they do it with the entire English language, or French language, or Portuguese language, or Spanish language. Because if you can master the way that words are used and get people to accept your definitions for words, and, like the N-word, give it no definition at all, except to say that it's derogatory, you can manipulate people any way that you want to. And that's why black people themselves, back in the 1940s, I think, said about the N-word, they called it the magic word. Well, why is that a magic word? Because it causes people to do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do. What I tried to do was give it a definition. See, the question is, what makes the N-word so powerful? That's the question. It doesn't have a definition. When you look in the dictionary, what do you see? It's a derogatory term. That's what you see. For a black person, a person of color, a person of Negroid descent, a person of African descent, it's a derogatory term. Now, but that's not where the power comes from. The power, because that's a non-definition, the power comes from that word in the dictionary. In most dictionaries that you will find, English language dictionaries, you'll find that word derogatory. But it doesn't tell you what. Why it's derogatory. And that is the magic. And I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it for years. And I came up with that same conclusion. Oh, that is it. See, actually, they could use any word and not give it a definition and go around calling black people that or any people that and drive them crazy. The key is, once you give a word a definition, definitions have a way of being able to, a definition means defining, meaning you can relate it to other things. Like if you call a person a monkey, like a few years ago, someone said to one dark-skinned person, say, you're a macaca, or something like that. It kind of sounded like that. That's what the person was saying. And everybody looked puzzled, because nobody knew what a macaca was. So somebody looked in the dictionary and found out it was a species of monkey. Now, the minute they found out it was a species of monkey, what happened? The word lost its power. See, what gives a word power is when it has no very, very clearly defined definition. Down through the years, black people have said, when you use the N-word, it means a despicable person, all right? But another person would say, no, it's a whole lot of people who are despicable and whatnot. But this is used for black people, all right? So when you actually think about it, you might have to think, a lot of people, I don't know how, people have actually written books about the origin of the word, being Portuguese and all like that. And it's a corruption of the word Negro. And just, and that's, but see, it still doesn't define anything. And anytime you use a word, think about it, folks, think about it. Anytime you use a word that doesn't have a concise definition, that word can be made to be super powerful because it's a code. It could mean anything, but it's supposed to be what? Derogatory. But nobody says why, all right? They never tell you why it's derogatory. Some people say, well, it means you're a thief. Okay, it's a lot of people that steal. See, now, so the word loses power right there. So when a white person steals, does that make a white person N-word? The answer is no. So the key to that N-word, once and for all, folks, everybody within the sound of this discussion right now, the key to it is it doesn't have a definition, and that is the power that has carried that word from generation to generation to generation. And you can do it with any word. Make up any word right now. And
well,
don't
because
give it
of
a definition and go around and label people that, and you will have started a new trend. If you don't believe it, try it. See, but if you never define the word, it's just like if I would call you a name right now, and you never heard that name before, and I would laugh. See, now you are bewildered. That's the whole thing. That's the key. You confuse a person, okay? If a person is not confused, they can get their handle on anything. But the word, the N-word is a confusing word because it doesn't have a definition. It can mean almost anything, but it's supposed to be derogatory. It's supposed to be something that makes you feel bad. So you just what? You don't know what else to do, so you automatically feel bad when you hear it. I mean, it is a super psychological trick like you wouldn't believe. I mean, but it's right there in your face, the reason why it has that kind of power. It doesn't have a clear definition. That's the power of it.